Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. The mask is off. The mask is coming off. It's not coming off, it's off. So that will happen when the truth, Son of Man, showed up. Great light, but they was hiding themselves as angels of light. Oh, we're democracy, we're freedom. Save America. We're chosen people. And that abomination, desolation, snatch the mask off. That's the beginning. First had to be exposed and then disposed. Farrakhan, a demon. See, we have Satan, devils, we have demons, we have the JINN, and all those clowns out there, they have no idea who they are. They're just talking. So some of them are just demons themselves. It doesn't matter. The time is up. Can't you see? The time is up. Even the devils are telling you that. Time is up. Mr. Trump said, oh, you got 48 hours, something like that, there to conform to kiss IS, told Iran that. It's not going to happen that way. See, everybody knows something's about to happen. There's no what the outcome is. You won't know until you had an angel key. All the scriptures were locked, sealed to the end. And those clowns, even Sunday, admit that it's still, but it's sealed to the end. But it's sealed to the end, that means those are the books to be revealed to the end, not the Quran. The Quran is some sealing done to the Quran too, because there's some verse are allegorical, some are decisive. That means allegorical ones, it's a mild seal, but it's a seal, because it means you have to think it through. It's allegorical, that means you got to do some thinking. Decisive means, hey, that's it. It's clear. So there is a bit of a seal there, but the Quran itself is dependent upon the angel, because the Quran itself does not reveal the identity of the golden calf, nor does it reveal the angel of the jinn, nor does it reveal the identity of Satan. It doesn't. Or the devils either. Not clearly. Without the angel key, and our people right there in darkness, someone asks me, why you don't have the sunlight on your, because the nation of Islam is in darkness right now. In darkness. When the light comes on, it's going to be in trouble. There's going to be a lot of trouble when that light comes on. See? Because the light's on now. When I mean light comes on, when they open their eyes. See, because they've been taught to keep their eyes closed. Oh, what's the point? Open your eyes. There's ain't no light out there. Now people walk around with eyes closed. What's the point of opening them? Nothing to see. Right? The media is just going to tell you what you already know. The media is going to tell you what you already know, which is nothing. Nobody's going to challenge that. Elijah Muhammad came and gave you a peep. And he said, oh, man, that was too much. You had to get him out of there because he gave you a peep. He didn't open your eyes. He didn't give you the bright light. He gave you a peep. He gave you the moonlight. So people, they got a glimpse of what was going on, and they reacted. Look how strongly those people, Elijah, reacted even with the moonlight. So they put that light out, put the moonlight out, get an eclipse. The Farrakhan's the eclipse. The moon's there, the sun's there, but he's put these eclipse to block it. And then he went back to sleep again. Oh man, nothing to see. What happened? It went dark again. And they looked for the light. There was no light. They said, well, might as well close my eyes again. Might as well close my eyes again because there ain't no light. See? Because Farrakhan's eclipse, he comes in, blocks the moonlight. See? But now the sunlight's on the side. He can't block that. He's trying. He can block the moonlight, but he can't block the sunlight. We think these are analogies, huh? I keep telling you, quality tells you that. It's mathematics. So mathematics can come in different forms. Right? 5 plus 3 is equal 8. 1 plus 6 equal 8. 10 minus 2 equals 8. Come in different forms. So when you look at something like pregnancy, there's other things that have to follow the exact same process the pregnancy follows. Exact same process. You just got to be able to connect it. You go, oh, that. And you see, so there's certain processes that's universal. And pressure, it really underscores that. So if you find, right, just like put a seed in the ground and it grows, well, there's certain things that follow that same process. And then once you identify that and you say, hey, that's why I say, watch the ants. Watch the ants. Anybody tell ants what to do? They come from doing what they're doing. They know exactly what to do. Nobody tell them what to do. You have to have a boss over them, supervisor. Are they smarter than us? That shit, whole system is messed up. So what's that verse says? I'm going to place a ruler in the earth. I'll place a ruler in the earth. Have you ever analyzed that? I'm going to place that ruler in the earth. He said, I'm going to place a new ruler in the earth, did he? I'm going to place a ruler in the earth. See, we don't pay attention to these words. I'm going to place a ruler in the earth. Wait a minute. Why didn't he say new ruler? Because there wasn't a ruler before that. You need a ruler. Your heart and lungs need a ruler. They know what to do, and they're happy doing it. You need a ruler. It means you got to tell people what to do. People don't pay attention to these things, bro, but you're going to pay attention in a minute. Let's move on. Now I got a special presentation, brothers and sisters. Like I said, I can't do this every day now as I'm preparing. I'm really preparing because I know any day now, right? It's happening. As far as I can see it clearly. I know you can't. A lot of work to do in preparation, right? So, and there's no one to help. No one that can be depended on. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. So there's probably 2 or 3 parts here. Let's see. What's going on? Okay. Okay, here we go. And you get a new provider, brothers and sisters, because the other one's like, this may not be any better. Wow. Okay. This one probably looks like it's worse. Let's see. Oh yeah, I guess I gotta. These guys ain't work either. Okay, they promised to be better access, and I guess they were wrong. Slower. Okay, I may not be able to do this, brothers and sisters. I'm just hanging up. The provider, and it's worse now than it was before. Yep. Here we go. See if it works.
believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Wadafuddin and I have had disagreement, but his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent.
Farrakhan's husband. That was his husband.
$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Again, assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, best of the covenant, breaker 7 seals. A couple of things, but this is going to be probably a 2 or 3 day, because I had a lot of issues trying to get this going, and a lot of preparation. So I'm see if how much I can get done today. However, let's point out a couple of things here. You know, yeah, we don't see English language. Still know that's language, so you should know, right? I mean, that's language you speak, so you should. That's language you speak, you should know how to speak it. That's not a natural language, but until we get it, we should learn how to speak it. We need to communicate, right? So you have like concepts like illiterate, stupid, dumb, right? Ignorant. Now, illiterate, that don't mean you're dumb. It don't mean you're stupid. It don't mean you're ignorant. The problem Muhammad was illiterate. Couldn't read it. I mean, as far as Spanish is concerned, I'm illiterate. I can't read or write it. See what I'm saying? So, literate just means you can't read or write. Right? They don't say it, but basically, you know, your particular language. I mean, if that's the case, I'm illiterate to French, I'm illiterate to other stuff, but I can't read or write that stuff. Well, let's get that straight. Then you have ignorant. Now, ignorance, people misunderstand that because I'm ignorant about a lot of stuff. I mean, what you don't know, what you're ignorant about. I'm illiterate about how females think. How could I? Excuse me, I'm ignorant about how. I would never know that. I mean, I can guess. I have to be a woman to know that. I mean, I can guess. That's my idea. I'm a bit ignorant as far as that's concerned. I'm ignorant about maybe I understand the concept of a car, but I couldn't build one. I'm not technical. So I'm ignorant in the technical side of cars. The spatial side, I understand the concept, you know, what drives it, but, you know, the whole idea. But I'm illiterate to the technical sides. And particularly since we had the gender situation, and now we have the mental situation where you have analytical and spatial. In the spatial, people will be ignorant to the technical side when it used to be ambidextrous. Like before we had gender, then I wasn't ignorant on the female side. See? But now there's separation, I'm ignorant, as well as they're ignorant on the male side. There's still a book, which got out of Steve Harvey. Oh, act like a woman, think like a man, or something like that. How is she going to think like a man? You know, it's stupid, but, you know, they play stupid games. How can a woman think like a man? It's impossible. I can't think like a woman. Even if I thought like a woman, I wouldn't know it. I wouldn't know I was thinking like a woman. I would think that's the way a man thinks. So, ignorance, right? It's no individual that knows everything. So everybody's ignorant about something. So ignorance is, you know, it's that which you don't have knowledge of. If you have 100% knowledge, everything, technical, spatial, every aspect of it, then you're ignorant about something. That's why we have a body. The heart's ignorant to what the lungs do. Lungs are ignorant what the heart does. So we have a body. So we have some people that's heart cells. That's literally some of us heart cells, some foot cells, some of us, you know, a foot cell, right? If they get a problem, they think of it like a foot thing. Well, let's have a march, Million Man March. He just says a foot cell. That's what came to him. That's where he sees things. Nobody said, well, let's go have sit-ins where he's a butt cell. I'm not making fun. I'm just saying because we need. If your butt hurts, your whole head, or your head, everything will hurt. So we respect all parts of it. Love every part. I love every part of my body. I respect every part of my body. See, this crap they have here is all nonsense. See? So we need foot cells. We need heart cells. You understand? See, but you can tell. It's like some people they're interested in how the universe works. Well, most like a brain cell. Another person is like an artist or whatever, maybe their eye cell. You know what I'm saying? Something like music, whatever, maybe their heart cell. And all that, when we come together, our bodies are all disconnected now. We come together, we'll see that, and we're in perfect harmony, right? Everybody be doing their thing, and you'll love it, right? And when females act like women, right, and you'll love it. And when you start acting like men, they'll love to go. We don't act like men now. We act like devils towards to act. In fact, we don't even control our actions. So that gets down to, so you got ignorance. Put literally out. Ignorance, stupidity, and dumb. Now, dumb means you just can't learn. You just can't learn. You're just dumb. You know how to do it to learn. As far as relatives to us, relatives are dumb. They can never learn what is dumb. I mean, in gorilla land, they do that, but in our reality, it's dumb. They can't. Some people are just dumb. You see, so you know, and the devils produce those type of people. Those people will not be produced when we get home. See, they won't be produced. That gets to another thing. Like we're talking about the so-called mentally retarded kind of stuff. It's all stored together. Then you got stupidity, right? What's the other thing I said? Yeah, ignorance, stupidity, dumb, right? Now I say you can be ignorant, but see, a stupid person, like an ignorant person, they don't know, right? But a stupid person, somebody refused to know. If you're a stupid person refused to know, they can know, they can learn, right? But they refuse to. That's what stupid is. See? Dumb, they can't. It's just they can't. It's not their fault. They can't. See? Ignorant means well. Means you're ignorant of some things. That means you're ignorant of everything. If you're ignorant of everything, right? And well, stupidity is one refuse to learn. Now the signs of that is, see, like I told my wife and my children, do not teach them to make excuses. Because excuses is a way instead of you run a situation instead of learning the situation, you make an excuse. Oh, so that means you don't intend to learn. Or you make an excuse for not knowing, for not understanding. You make an excuse for it. Oh, well, that means you have no intention on learning. So you're stupid. If you start making excuses and justifying their ignorance, that means you're stupid. But they refuse to learn. Because why would you justify ignorance? That means you have no intention, because I never was like that. So I guess I'm just born that way, right? Because when somebody tell me something about myself or something I did, the first thing I check to see if they're right or not. Now, I might go and check their motive out. Want to kick somebody's ass, because I know they're trying to, harm me, right? But the bottom line is, I first check to see if their criticism is right, because some of your best teachers are your enemies. They don't care about your feelings. They'll just tell you, hey, you're stupid, you're ugly, or whatever. Right? They'll tell you. Your friends will, oh, man, I don't hurt their feelings. See? So you're ugly as hell, they tell you you're beauty, and they're going to hurt your feelings. Right? Maybe if they tell you ugly, that might be bad, but maybe might do something about it. Maybe ugliness can be something be done about it. When you start making excuses, okay? So somebody tell you, okay, you pull out something. Went and checked and they said, what? Does that mean it's right or wrong because you went and check someplace else? How you know that thing that you checked is wrong? Like say, oh, I went and Googled. See, with the Google, well then why don't you follow Google then? How you know Google's right? Because you're trying to justify something wrong. Oh, I got it from it. Well, did you check that was right? That's just another way of showing you don't intend on doing anything about your ignorance. You want to remain ignorant. Okay? You can be learned, but you don't refuse to because you got an excuse. Oh, I would. What did you see what I'm saying? I was never like that. I remember when I first got to computers, right? And my first job was at Montgomery Wards in Chicago. We had to go to a program, a training thing. And so it was a long story, but it was black folks, right? We had this program. So we started working. Montgomery Wards. It was about 4 or 5 other blacks that did the program, and they all started at the same time. And I remember that like the cubes, but they was like shoulder high, right? So you weren't in the room. You was like in a cubicle or something. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. So we rookies, right? So we know what's going on. So we had to ask questions. So all the white folks there, it was all white folks. It was only a few black folks, right? You ask a question. They didn't want you to begin with. So they sound you, hey man, you don't know that, man. They talk loud and everything, sure everybody that you didn't know something. You're ignorant. Trying to make fun of you. I didn't care. I just wanted to answer. And all the black folks, they were scared. Oh man, I ain't gonna ask that because they're gonna sound me. I said, man, don't worry about that. Get the information. I tried to tell them, they wouldn't. After a year, they was all gone. I was the only one left there. And after a year, the white folks asked me questions. See, I got the information I wanted. I ain't give a damn about them out talking. You don't know that by now, man. You've been here 3 months, you don't know that, all that kind of stuff. And so we go in the meetings and the black folks got excuse why they didn't know this. I had no excuses. They allowed to talk all they want to. I didn't give a damn. I went and got the information after a year, right? So anyway, our people have been made stupid. Part of the reason that is because while we was in Holocaust, we still in some form phase of Holocaust. We made an excuse to keep on getting our ass kicked. But Master come after us, hey Master, because we know he's about to whip us. So we made all kinds of excuses for, why you, I thought you put 2 bales of cotton. Well, Master, you had to say something because he was trying to get whooping your ass. See? But now we got to get out of that. See, these things are people acting in these ways, and they still, the thing is, you got to understand, look, when Prophet Muhammad came along, the people was acting one way, but they couldn't keep acting like that after him. After him, he left. They had to be acting a different way. They was moving from one kingdom to another kingdom. And we move to the hereafter, you're going to be a whole different way of thinking, acting. And this way will not be tolerated. Excuses, like Muhammad told you, he told us that no excuses and mistakes will, I forget exactly how he said it, but no excuses and mistakes is allowed in law books of Islam. You can make an excuse, they don't want to hear it. That's why I told my wife, don't tell the children, but And she didn't listen too well, so I got some knuckleheads, and they got excuse for every damn thing, and that's why they can't make progress. But instead of adjusting and making adjustments and learning, they got excuse. Oh, it's this or that, or it's their fault or whatever. Blame somebody else. It was like that. I gotta get this mission done, and I don't have anybody help me. I ain't making no excuse. Well, ain't nobody help you. Don't see me making excuses. I keep on going. I just get everybody out the way to send away. I'm not making excuses. It's got to get done. I don't have nobody to help me, and I ain't making no excuses. And it's going to be done. It's being done right. It's happening. So understand that. So stupidity is going to make excuses. And then, if you explain it to them, the next out is they don't say anything at all. I'm going to say no because I their excuse, man. But they got excuse in their mind. They still excuses still there. See? Well, I'm not going to, because if I say excuse, you're going to know I'm not going to make excuse anymore, man. No, that's not the answer. The answer is I'm not going to make no mistakes anymore. That's the answer. I'm going to check what I'm doing, make sure it's right. I'm not saying things I know what I'm saying. That's the answer. Now, make an excuse or keep your mouth shut. That's not either one of those answers. The answer is get it right. That's the answer. That's progress. Come on, brothers and sisters. I got a few things I'll play here, and then I'm trying to get to my main point. I know I'm not going to get it today. But the mask, the mask has come off. She had a mask, just walk around, halos and carrying on, right? Oh, we democracy, we freedom of speech, that was all bullshit. All the masks is coming off. Who's taking it off? The mask not coming by itself. They've been revealed. Bombing this desolation, showing that America was never about human rights, anything like that. All this stuff, the mass has been, it tells you, before they destroy it, their skirt had to be pulled up on their head. That means everything exposed. Because we won't condemn them in secret. But it says, even unjust in their destruction, they'll say, that was just. They're like Pharaoh right there, and he said, he's drowning. He said, yeah, you the God. But it's going to be clear to them, the instruction. See, the thing is, it's part of the, I don't want to get too deep in this, brothers and sisters, but part of the problem is someone think they don't think they're deceiving you. Why? Because if you lie all the time, you distort in your brain. So after a while, the lie seems like the truth to you. So you think you're telling the truth. It's like, they'll say, oh, they lie so much. So if they lie and they say, oh, it's patriotism. I'm defending my country. Well, there's some truth about that, and I could be. I say I lied to my enemy, and I be careful about that because, you got 2 days going on there. Because nature tells you if I tell truth, that means I'm not care about myself. I don't want to preserve myself. I want my enemy to kill me. But the other side is I'm still doing something in my brain. So that's war. In war, you get scars. You don't get cuts. You're going to get hurt. It's going to be blood spilled. See a contradiction there? Say, God can't lie. And the Quran, you better read the Quran again. It says, if you distort, then he leads you astray. What is that? He leads you astray. He's telling you go away, ain't the right way. They don't know the hell they're talking about. God can do anything he wants to do. He made Adam mix with shed blood, so why would he approve somebody make mix shed blood if he can't? Come on. He makes something he don't know how to do himself. It's stupid. But that's the thing that most people don't think about. See? Because lying is bad. It's bad for your brain. Right? But it's self-defense. You have to lie, otherwise you're putting yourself at risk. That means you don't care nothing about yourself. You got a little of that in that thing, Esau and Jacob. Esau sold his heritage because he was hungry. Yeah, but that's self-preservation. See, so that was the right thing to do for some of preservation, but it wasn't good, right? Because Jacob had to get it, and so God respected the fact that he appreciated, even though Jacob was deceptive, right? See, it was two things. He was deceptive, but when it comes to self-preservation, the appreciation of the gift, he said, I thought that was respect anyway. Let me move on, brothers and sisters. This, we have those different things, like I said, because you have the reason why the Quran talk about we'll have those problems when we get home. But right now we're in war. And so you have to understand the language of war. See? Oh, I ain't gonna kill nobody. Okay, you're gonna die then. Oh, I'm not going, that little piggy, right? I'm not going, it's so cute, right? And that's the part, you eat pork because that's all there is pork. He said you gotta wipe them out. No, devil is, oh, it's that little baby. That's what's on Amalek. You say, man, because that's at war. When you're at war, you got that dilemma. And the bottom is that when you want to live or you want to die. You want to be pure or you want to live. You want to be pure, then you're pure dead. Or you live, you have blood on your hands. That's just the nature of it, that car cost. We submit to God for hell. We're catching hell. We're forced to eat shit, pissed off everything else, but we're in submission. That's what war is. So we have to learn the language of war, right? And survive. And if you survive, then you can be healed. When you go into war, you better be prepared for war. That's what I'm trying to do, prepare for war. But you're not getting prepared because you get all things all mixed up. And that's why Master Muhammad make his move. It's going to hit you like a shot, and then you're going to have to, if you go into shock, right? Because, people go into shock, they die. Like, and I was in the military, right? People go into shock, say they got shot in the finger, got a finger blown off. They never been shot before. And in their mind, getting shot is like, it's the way they think, right? And so they go into shock. This is a fact. Go check it out. And they would die, and there's no mortal wound because they went to shock, because they thought, I got hit. I'm trying to save you from that nonsense. I'm trying to save you from, because they got you all this, wait for Jesus, all that kind of stuff. That's not what's about to happen, your brothers. Dude, double them has done to you. Damn, that means you got to be a cruel motherfucker. Oh, look what he said. See what I'm saying? Or see, because they say, oh, he talk like that. You see what I'm trying to tell you? So they say, oh, if he comes, he's got to be talking like, oh, he's a he's a mean man. Look his little booty. See? And that's what Farrakhan got you thinking like that. So they think when Jesus come, he gonna come riding a white horse, and he's coming, he's gonna save everybody, he love everybody. See? All this stupid stuff. But if you look at what he does, hell, he's a monster. He gonna kill everybody that don't believe in him. He drowned all little babies in the Noah's flood. You guys got to get straight, brothers and sisters. And the bottom line is, that's why I tell you, you got to give them an angel, you got to get that knowledge ahead, and you got to get it down. And that's the only thing going to save your ass. That and those 5 pillars, period. That's going to give you protection. That's just protection. But now you got to go to war. See, you war, you got to inflict some pain. And that's some of you not going to be able to do that. Because you fist bump these devils right now, people that rape you, beat you, torture you, fed you shit and everything else, you fist bump them, and it's so cute. The message told you that in the story of Yaqub. He says, when they was forced back in Europe, it says, oh, the sisters felt so, see, our sisters felt so sorry, pity for little babies, little devil babies, and so they hit them. And so now, look, you got a white rape over there. And who was the ones that, see, who was one that betrayed us? Those white rape. You know what I'm saying? Those sisters, they were saving the ones that gonna betray them. JINN, they were saved because they remember if they would save them, you got demons over there. They were saving people that was going to destroy them, put them in Holocaust. Because they're so cute, can't do it. You're going to get out of that in a minute or you're going to die. That was my Amalek. They said Amalek you told to wipe them all out. Everything, children, women, everything, just wipe it all out. Tell little babies by the heel, knock their brains out. I said, damn. I mean, that, to me, I can't stand blood. When they go take blood, I got to look the other way I can. But damn. That's what I'm saying. Why the hell they picked me to do this? Because everything I'm telling you is totally against me. I never flicked any pen on anybody. My wife tell you that. I threw an empty carton at her one time. Stage you put a, what was it called, water bottle? Where you drink water in a little plastic thing, right? It was empty. I feel bad about that. I mean, it couldn't hurt her. Right? She caught me out of me out. Right? It couldn't hurt. It couldn't possibly hurt her because, things weigh an ounce with no water or anything in it. You tell you, I'll put my hands on her. Do that. I need my children, same thing. Because I'm not a violent person. I would ship anybody, I defend myself. But that's what has to be done. It's a command. Do of them is done to you. But you got this idea, as far as God's telling you, hey, just have faith in the law. Is that what he told Noah? Oh, don't, Noah, the flood come. Oh, what I'm going to do, Lord? Just have faith in me. Is that what he told him? Let's move on, brothers and sisters. I'm trying to prepare you for it, but I know I'm not successful in doing it. I know it's going to hit you like a shock in a minute. It's going to hit you. Because you got all these crazy notions and things. And it's going to be, it says, blood's behind as a horse's brow. Because we're at war. Unprecedented. Unprecedented. Blood. You got to go to tribulation. We think tribulation, right? If you have protection, yeah. But you got to fight your way to the... How you going to do double? Who's going to be double them? We're not going to be here, so that's going to be you doing it. If you're here, and you can't show any pity. And I'll tell you a little secret here, too. Brothers and sisters, do catch on. If they see you hesitating, they're going to get you. And you got to get that baby, and they see you hesitating, they're going to get you. Watch. You see? You say, okay. Why are you hesitating to get rid of the enemy? That means you must don't believe that's a devil. Your hesitation going to get you killed. The mouth, his days are numbered, and he won't be around much longer. This war will hit off. I haven't seen it, the actual video yet. They say Trump gave Iran 72 hours 2 days ago. That means if he did it, they got hurt. And so a lot of people saying it. I haven't seen the tape. I didn't see him say it myself. That's what they're saying. So that means if that's the case, he stick by it. That means they're going to be at it by tomorrow. We'll see. Iron fire. And the thing is, it's easy for I can't just read what scripture say about him. But okay, here we go.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flager as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is, you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity. So I'm only one shade lighter than you, so. And Mustafa maybe 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you. Go ahead.
One more time, brother.
Because then they read that part in the Crown. Go on.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Real quick, brothers and sisters, I'm going to move on. Yeah, they start stuff like problems. Let's pop tomorrow. So let's get some main point here. It just shows what they have said. They've been part of the book, this been the other. This shows it. And quickly go through this, brothers and sisters. National Covenant.
Malachi 3:1. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me, and the Lord, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts.
See, right there, they call him a liar, because he says this messenger is coming, and isn't that 2 messengers? That's a messenger after the messenger. They says no one come after the messenger, eternal leader, nation of Islam. So they call him God a liar, and they never mention the messenger covenant. So being part of the book and disbelieving the other. Believe this part, disbelieving the other. Let's go to the next one.
Genesis 15:12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and, lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. 13. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. 14 And also that nation, whom they shall serve, will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance.
Okay, again, brothers and sisters, Farrakhan said we're not going nowhere. So he called God a liar here too. Because after 40 years, we leave and return home. He says, no, we're not going nowhere. So he's calling God a liar here, called God a liar about the message of the covenant, and called God a liar here. And let's see where this place will return to. See where that is. Now they believe in this part of the book, but what's the rest of it?
Genesis 15:18. In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates.
There it is, brothers and sisters. It says return home to, but they never mention this part. They never mention the covenant. They don't mention the covenant. That's the covenant right here. It says the covenant. They mention the first part, being part of the book, and this being the other. Shows it right here. This is obvious truth, just like Farrakhan's obvious truth. Stuff is true, but why are they misled? Well, that's their problem, isn't it? Let's move on. Now, let's see who the message of the covenant is. Let's go to that one.
Now after the death of Moses the servant of the Lord it came to pass, that the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, To Moses my servant is dead, now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou, and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. 3 Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. For from the wilderness and this Lebanon even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast.
Okay, brothers and sisters, right there. Joshua, the message of the covenant, don't mention Joshua either. He comes after Moses, after Elijah. And they bypass Aaron. Farrakhan said Aaron, why? Because Aaron was no good. He had made NOI laughing stock. Right? He had turned towards the golden calf, turned away from Elijah's teachings, Moses' teachings. That's what it says Aaron did. That's Farrakhan. So why did they both bypass Farrakhan and bypass Aaron and go straight to Joshua? He's mentioned the covenant. They don't mention him either, do they? They don't mention the message of the covenant. They don't mention the message of the covenant, right? They don't mention the message of the covenant. They don't mention the covenant. They don't mention the identity of the message of the covenant with Joshua. There you go. But they believe, say the rest they believe, but they don't mention that part. There you go. The part of the book, this and the other, most grievous chastisement.
Five. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life, as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee, I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee.
There you go. He's with Joshua. He wasn't with Aaron. He wasn't Aaron when they bust his ass up with the pills. Or blew his ass up with those radiation pills. Now he pissing shit in the bag in the wheelchair. Was God with him then? See? Bypass Aaron because he's no goddamn good. So you stick with him. He's doing a good job. Pulling your ass over there, keep your head. Drop his ass, stay over there. Right? Stay right over there with him. But we sure don't want you over here. Easy, make it easy for us, right? Separate from your ass. So-called son of man, Eric, Ishmael, Ben X, Methuselah, Melchizedek, whatever his name is. Yeah, y'all hang on in there.
Six. Be strong and of a good courage, For unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give them. 7 Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. 8 This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. 9 Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest.
Okay, another problem. Oh boy. Oh wait. Oh man. Okay, what am I gonna do here? Oh man. One problem after another. Oh, here we go. It's gonna work. Oh. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. This is not working. Let me try this. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. One issue after another, brothers and sisters. I could explain it anyway. Anyway, that's Farrakhan's husband there. Because, you know, he can't, his heaven is gone because, you know, he's castrated and everything else, right? So I guess it, I mean, something going on there. That's not federal shot, brothers and sisters. Yeah. Pretty sure that's his husband, Mr. What do you call him? Father Flager. Sad. If they did, they lose the nation. I'm moving on, brothers and sisters. $2026. Oh boy, what a year. A year to be remembered. Okay, let's see if I can get into, I'm pretty sure it'll be 2 parts, brothers and sisters here. Now see, the angel reveals our enemies. Farrakhan has you. Oh, some of them okay. Some of the synagogue Satan, they ain't so bad, right? You got your people worshiping the JINN. Oh, Sunnism, right? Scientology, all that kind of stuff, right? Economy. So all the nations are on us. All the nations are enemies. Oh, it says the dragon stood by. You don't know what a dragon is. If I was soon was born. Who's the dragon's angels? Boom. Who's the demon that's in charge? See, he has control of the nation. They have control of us, our identity, our land, our economy, and our nation, Nation of Islam. They come to every elevated place. They're sponsored by this one. Where they getting their fuel from? All the stuff from here. Where's he getting money from and everything else? From here, Farrakhan. Where's he have you? Oh, pointing to Sunnism. What's supporting? Again, the JINN. See, they're getting off from this one here. They get fueling up money and everything from Saud, House Saud. This whole reality is fueled by the House of Saud primarily. So he turned us back to them. That's what Wallace did, right? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said, it says the dragon and his angels, so in other words, it's really driven by this right here. Because if they shut everything down, all these would collapse, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they? They claim America got all this, well, they got some oil while they're trying to take from Venezuela. There's no story. I'm not against that today. How come they don't put down false Israel? Because they want false Israel. They're trying to look like false Israel. Because they know that they the ones souls in slavery. They know that I have brothers, and the devils know it too. Because that's why they call them desert niggers. They call these people desert niggers. They know. They hiding from you because they want you. They got your identity. Which they got. Hey, they're Isaac. We're Isaac. And again, this is deception. It's the power of deception. Power is discipline times energy is power. Power is pressure, control pressure. So here says how much power each one has, right? But you give your power quality. So you got $1 million, you give it quality. You say, okay, I want $1 million car, I want $1 million house. Still worth $1 million. Just the quality. You haven't changed the fact you got $1 million. That's what this is. But they deceive you into this. See? That's where this quality they get energy. That doesn't increase their power. That's just the quality of it. Same here. Same here. But see, they got you thinking, oh, this gives you more power. No, it does not. The Bible tells you that. Daniel tells you that. They put their trust in arms. That's why it tells you, if the law, no weapon they have will fail against you. Well, you don't have any weapon. No, you do. It says the law, you play it because they know that stuff is just bullshit. It's an illusion. But you're confused by the illusion. You're in confusion of the illusion. Now, this is growing in power. It's crushing these. Yeah, they got all this. And you locking and say, oh man, they got guns. They got, yeah. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, I'm going to go through this quickly. And hopefully tomorrow I'll go into more detail and a special presentation of this. The Injil key, and I'm going to leave it there. I got a lot of things I want to talk about here, but I'm going to, like I said, I had a lot of delays and stuff today. So Injil key. Let's see. This is step-by-step what you can expect to happen. I'm giving it the short version. What you expect to happen very soon. I think I got this right. This is where we are right now with Injil key. Oh, nope, didn't get it right. How did that? Nope, how did that happen? Hold on, brothers and sisters. I think I know what I did, but let me see. Okay. 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 What happened here? Oh, brothers and sisters, something. I don't know what happened here. Let me look real quick. Yeah, how did that happen? Oh. Oh, boy. Yeah, okay. Oh, I know what happened. I know what happened now. Yep. Pull the wrong version in. Pull the wrong version in. Oh. What? Oh, okay. Got it. Easy way. Now I guess I gotta do the hard way. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. Okay, see that, 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 that. Oops, still not right. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this tomorrow, boss. I don't know what I did. The hell? How'd that get changed like that? One more time. I have to keep doing it. I'm gonna do it this way, boss. This is not the one I want to give you, but it'll work. Okay. I'm not gonna blame anybody, boss. It's just I ain't gonna make no excuses. I don't know what happened there. Double goes out. Double. Let me shut up. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Got it right this time. It's not what I wanted, but it'll do for now. Slow, less than what I wanted. Okay, enter key. Okay, this is where we are right now. As far as enter key. Let's step out the way here. Oops. So right now, America, Iran and Syria, and Michael's angels, Michael's Masra Muhammad, right? They're in conflict right now with Gog, Magog, and the Antichrist. Gog, Magog, America, Britain, and false Israel. They're in conflict with them right now. And the dragon has 7 heads and 10 horns. These are 7 heads. Where we are right now. And the war is about to resume. When it resumes, this will happen. See? Resume, could get head. And this right here, this one represents Egypt. This represents Egypt. That's the sling, the stone. See, if you look at this carefully, let me back up here. It's kind of hard to see, but I had the graph that shows more detail, but something went wrong, so I'll have to figure it tomorrow. See here, see this, the slingshot is white and stone in it. So it's a slingshot right here, if you can notice that, right? It's got these 7 crowns. I moved the crowns out the way. I'm leaving the crowns there for now because the dragon has 7 heads and 10 horns, and the crowns on the heads. That means European countries are ruling right now. But these are 10 horns here. That represent China and India. Right? Anyway, I'm not going to detail. Bottom line is, this slingshot is talking about to Goliath out. Goliath is false Israel. So right here, so they ride moving up slingshot. If you look at this carefully, so they move up, and now this stone's in the slingshot, and that's the one that hit false Israel, take him out. So when this war resumes, Egypt is going to betray false Israel and hit him from behind. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Egypt is going to, when the war resumes, Iran and Syria is going to going to bounce back, right? They're going to hit America and Britain, Gog and Magog, and false Israel. It's like a storm, like a whirlwind, and Egypt is going to hit it from the back. There's a stone the stone actually knocks, because they're not expecting that. Hit from the rear, knock out false Israel. So why are you saying that now? Because it's going to happen. That's what's about to happen. When that happens, the power shifts. It's going to power shift. The dragon and the crowns go to the horns. So now China and India is going to be the new powers, because the Europeans all are going to be just tearing themselves apart, right? So the big power shift, right? You're going to see them coming together. India and China is going to unite. All the Oriental countries, Japan and Philippines, they're going to all unite with China. They're going to betray America, all unite with China, India also. They're all going to unite together. So this is, at this point, when Iran knocks knocks America, false Israel, and out of the Middle East, in other words, they not break their control of the Middle East, because false Israel is still going to be there. America and Britain, they're under fire. But now Iran and Syria has control of the Middle East. Okay? False Israel is going to be under siege. At that point, that's when Farrakhan goes down. His people are going to throw him out. When thrones are cast down, and that Suleiman, right, he's going to take charge of it, right? You know why? At that point, as soon as they're victorious in the Middle East, America and Britain still going to be there, still fighting, still being attacked, falls Israel under siege, right? And then that's when they're going to be kicked out, and they're going to attack. They're going to attack because false Israel is lost. They see that the vision is destroyed. Now you have your true vision, because that's the fake vision. They took your vision away from you, telling you false Israel was the seed of Abraham. But now they're going to attack. Come on, brothers and sisters. I got to answer something here. Okay, so far, the war resumes, right? The war resumes. False Israel, American Britain, is God make God and false Israel, the Antichrist, under attack, bombardment, right? What's going on? Egypt is going to hit false Israel from behind. It's going to knockout blow, right? American Britain, American Britain, they're on severe missile attack. They get their ass torn apart, right? So and they get kicked. They're forced out of the Middle East under fire. So that means false Israel left here abandoned, under siege, right? Under control. You know, the thing is, Let me say this quickly, brothers and sisters. I told you, America and Britain is right now obituary. Because all the stuff America is doing now, they could take, going to invading countries, taking allegiance and stuff, all the stuff going to happen here. So this is where we start. Trump going to suffer the most horrible. Yes. Right? That's what's going to happen. You understand? So forces is under siege. Right? Down the Palestinians control. Which, remember, they've been doing it to Palestine for 2 years. Now they've been doing it back to them. In the siege, no water, no food's coming in. They'll be starving. It says sons will be their fathers and fathers will be their sons. When forces are under siege, America and Britain is kicked out. When they get kicked out, America gets in the war in Europe. Britain is taken out. Britain is taken out by China. Britain's taken out by China. China represents death. They're taken out by China. America is at war with Russia and EU. EU is going to turn on them because why? Why is EU going to turn? Because when Iran and Syria take control of the Middle East, control of oil, which Europe is totally dependent upon. They used to get it from Russia, but now they're in conflict with Russia. Now their whole economy, that's what chapter 18, the whole economy collapsed overnight. So therefore, the only source of oil is Russia. They're going to make nice with Russia. So now, and all American bases in Europe is going to be under attack because now Europe is allied with Russia. So America is Russia, and then all the troops that was able to survive in the Middle East, not many of them, because they're going to tear their ass up, they're going to run out on fire. They're going to come out there on the fire, and they're going to run to Europe, and they're going to be happy, and they're going to be welcome there. They're under fire. So America's got to rush to try to protect their military in Europe. And that's Armageddon. That's true Armageddon. And the situation is that because their situation, they're going to have to come to all the oil. So America will have no oil, no civilian use. America's economy going to collapse right behind it. So Walmart and all will be closed down. First economy, Europe going to collapse, which leads to Armageddon. Now, all American force over in Europe is being attacked. America's got to run to their rescue, right? So, and they no oil from the Middle East anymore. They're sure not getting any from South America anymore, are they? So that means they got to take all the civilian oil. There will be no oil, gas in the stores and in the gas stations, anything. So that means total economic collapse here that follows. So now America's at war in Europe. That's Armageddon. Britain has been taken out because China and India united, and now they're moving to attack America. The only way to attack America. Okay, here we go. Well, I guess I shouldn't have been that provider, and I was just hanging up. Should stay where I was, I guess. You understand I'm not talking too fast, brothers and sisters here. That's what's happening, step by step. This happened a few more days. America's been Armageddon over there. It's Armageddon east. Total turmoil here, total economic collapse, and they're attacking all black people. They'll be attacking all black people. It's going to be so maybe you call it a civil war. They get kicked out of there. And they're going to attack all black people. But now black people are coming together because now they got a common vision. They realize they are to save him because false Israel went down, it's going down. And that means, that was the whole idea. They set them up to make you think they're them. So now you know they're not there. They know that they're not to save him. No, you are. So they're going to attack all blacks. They ain't going to take no chances. Okay. I'm going to go back to the old provider. This is hanging up. That's found before. Okay, yeah, it's not going to work. Okay, now here we go. So what's next? At this point in time, Iran and Syria is in control of the Middle East, right? Control false Israel's. It's under siege. America, Britain's cashed out. America's in war now getting between Russia and Europe. Britain's taken out by China, right? And all blacks are under attack in America. Suleiman comes in first to warn those Nation of Islam, so they don't flee. It says flee, you flee and panic. Don't go in your house. Anything. That's the demons, the ones in the eye, right? That's there. He'll come there and warn, so they won't have to flee in those circumstances. So here we go, right? Here we are. Okay. Then false Israel is gone. They're gone. From the siege, now they're gone. Okay. At that point, all blacks, you come together because they're under attack. Chaff as well as the wheat. They'll come together. Right? Okay. And once they come together, then Suleiman separates them out. Separates the demons. That's what it says in Exodus. Those with the Lord come with me. Separate out. Farrakhan is the chief demon, legion. Separate out. Cast out. Back to the devil, to the swine. And that's at that time, the elect and the lamb, they've been evacuated out of here. And it says Michael. At that time, Michael will rise. All those in Lamb's book, they're taken. So, hey, they're over here. So if they're over here with Iran, Syria, that means they're over here with them because they're not coming here. Right? And here, this is the ark here, up top here. This is the waters, this is the wars. So, it's not in the ark. They're going tribulation. All this wars represent tribulation. All this represents tribulation. They're floating on tribulation. They're not being destroyed by tribulation, but they in the tribulation because they're in the waters, but they're on top of it. That means, that's what it says, no weapon form rebel against them because they're in the tribulation, but they not in the flood. They're floating on top of it. Okay, if you ever understand that. The demons down here. This is the 5-month demon war, or the locust war. They're fighting to take America, right? These are still over here in tribulation. On tribulation. But the elect, they're over in the Middle East. Then after 5 months, they get to America, finally get here. China, India on the way. That's the goat that comes across from the west, feet not touching land. That means they come over the Pacific Ocean. They come, and at that point, they destroy the demons. But demons have taken control of America, and now they fight for America, but now China, India arrives, and they slaughtered all the demons. And they take out the rest of America. Right? This is the ark right here. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I'm not going to go, but I'm going to close out. I can go through it quickly. First thing you got to take out false Israel. That's about the war will start again. But that's why I'm going to take them out in battle. And Suleiman's going to take them out mentally when he restores the mind to our people. And then at that time, Farrakhan's gone. Taking down. His own people going to throw him out. They're doing a war now. And then the war is with, as Pharaoh's going out, now you got the elect. They're fighting against Pharaoh. The devil's here because they're attacking us. They're attacking all blacks. Okay, so when they've been fighting them through that tribulation about 5 months, but the elect, they're over into their war now. And Suleiman's at war, physical war, because he's over in the Middle East. Iran and Syria has control in the Middle East, but the Arabs still live there. They don't have control of it anymore. Assad fled to India. Right? So they're going to resist because we come back, take our land back. So now that's the fight there. Take our land back from the Arabs. Right? There won't be no, this infrastructure will not be destroyed. But it says, my father's house have many mansions. We're home, it says you return to homes and houses that you have not built. Because all that stuff they build over there now is for you, brothers and sisters. Specifically for you sisters. Then the battle with them, because their whole society is dependent upon that oil. And Suleiman, the Lamb, had to control it all now. He controlled the Middle East. Master Muhammad is the God. He controlled the whole thing. But the oil, right? They have it. Right? So, I mean, we all have it, right? I mean, Arabs, excuse me. Master Muhammad, his angels, right? They have control, but we actually live in there. And they're going to come and try to take the oil. We know more oil. They're going to come and try to take it. Their whole side depends upon it. And that's that battle. Right? And we're going to we want to destroy them, but we defeat them. And so when they can't get the oil from us, they're going to turn to Africa to try to get it. That's it, run to Obama. Obama will be in control of non-Islamic Africa, and you'll see. And they'll run into trying to take the oil from Africa, and they will be defeated. They will destroy them. Right? We'll be at peace in Arabia at the time, have control of it. At that point in time, Esau, the older brother, it's going to be a battle for control of the planet. Because there'll be two powers now, us and Africa. Upper Africa, which is Arabia, and Lower Africa, which you know is Africa. And that can be a battle between us two, because they say their older brother, Esau. He said, no, you sow your Arabs. They're going to try to take it, and that's the last battle. Last battle. It's not brother Esau. And they will be defeated. And then everlasting peace. And these are the vultures. So where the cogs is, so the vultures we gather together, whatever. The demons that was living off us, who was in the fields, through Master. And Master wasn't living us that way anymore. So the demons said, well, they're children, they rape children. What are we going to do, Master? Well, you can live off of them, and that's what we're doing. Preachers, Farrakhan, all of them are living off of us. He hasn't been doing anything, but he's a multimillionaire. They're the vultures, the buzzards living off us. Preachers, politicians, the demons, chaff and wheat. Chaff was living off the wheat. And we got two past them. I got to move on, brothers and sisters. I want to show you one more thing here. Okay, let me go ahead and play this.
I believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Wadakuddin and I have had disagreement, but his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. But I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent.
Brothers and sisters, that's the message. That's not Elijah Muhammad's message. That's not Master Muhammad's message. His whole idea is to snuff out everything Elijah Muhammad did, because he's a demon. They put him in because they come up every elevated place. So if somebody take control of our nation, take control of our wealth, take control of us, take control of our identity, and that's his job. So if you look at the lessons, Elijah Muhammad, his books, Message Black Man, all those books, you'll see nothing that support what he just said. That he's just saying just the opposite of what Elijah Muhammad said, because he's a demon. Now, that's what he got to say for Master, because he loved Master so much. But look what he got to say for you. Moment of honesty.
when the Muslims were alive. I'll say it again. When the Muslims were alive, you dead as hell now on both sides.
Yes, sir, brother minister. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. That's real, brother minister. Both sides.
Wake us up, dear Apostle.
When we was alive, we set up schools.
That's right.
When we were alive, we had supermarkets.
That's right.
We owned buildings. We owned farmland. We were busy doing something, hiring our people. Well, I'm telling the Muslims, damn it, if you don't come alive, you will die like you are. And I will say, thank you, Allah, because if they're not doing nothing on top of the earth, let the worms eat their ass.
See, brothers and sisters, he up to both sides, male and female. Pray to Allah. The worms eat your ass. That's what he have for you, because he's a demon. He loves the devils. But for you, who putting that $1,000 suit he got on, that $10,000 ring on his fingers, on lamb chops or pork chop, whatever he's eating, right? That mansion living in, you put all that, but see what he got for you? He want to sit and happen to the devil. So having him, but he want worms to eat your ass, and he neglect the fact that when the Muslim was alive, he's the one that killed you. Him and Wallace, I was there. He didn't produce a goddamn thing in 40-some years, and the reason why they had those things because they had a leader. Muhammad led them, and that's where they had those things. He led them. They did the work. He used the money to produce those things. Those things came in existence because of Elijah Muhammad. Bank, stores, everything else. We worked, provided the income, and he provided the leadership. Farrakhan produced a goddamn thing, but you're gonna blame us? It's like you got a guide. He gets you lost, and he blames you for being lost. Hey, what about who's following you? You lost, man. You stupid. You lost. Yeah, but who's following you? You lost because of you. But no, he wants to blame you for being lost. He's a leader. That's exactly what Aaron did, right? When Moses confronted Aaron, he took responsibility for the children being astray, messed up. He blamed them. Yeah, he was supposed to be a leader. It's clear as Aaron. But y'all that got y'all head of his ass, y'all keep it up there. Y'all think that's the brown stuff there where ain't up there nowadays because shit and piss in the bag. Well, I understand it. Y'all fight with each other. Who gets first? Jibs on them first. What do you call it? Nips on that bag. Hey man, I get mine first, man. Say something for me. Sick people. What path you think Farrakhan got you on? Which do you think you do? This path. America, keep everything happen with America. But for you over here on this side, pray Allah, worm eat your ass.
One.
I'm gonna close, bro, since I want to show you something if I can find it. Yeah, I'll talk about it tomorrow if I can't find it right now.
He's
I gotta close.
One. And it shall.
Okay, this. Brothers and sisters, if you read Ezekiel's will, Elijah Muhammad had that wrong. Ezekiel's will, right? This is Ezekiel's, this is the will. See, up to here. This is still in the waters. The ark, that's the end of Ezekiel's will. Because it was Ezekiel's will, it says it was a calf, it's a lion, right? It was an eagle, right? That's for how much. It's not made up of that kind of stuff. But when you read the angel, right, what you call Revelations, it tells you those same characters, lion, calf, right, eagle. You see what I'm saying? Same characters. This is the will he's talking about, not the so-called mother plane. But Matt does have a mother plane. It's superior technology. We're moving to a world of high technology, brothers and sisters. So if you want to sit around here and you move, you got to adjust to it. Otherwise, you're going to be lost in it. I start thinking. If you don't want to think, then you're going to be lost. It means you don't want to invest in. Well, I'm a butt cell. What? You got to be a dumb butt cell. Butt cell got the same DNA to head. Butt cell has the same DNA. Heart cell has all the same DNA. All has to be healthy. All has to be smart. Your butt cell got to be smart. If you got a dumb butt cell, you're going to have a lot of ache, but ass aches. Brothers and sisters. Okay, that's pretty much it, bosses. I'm going to follow up tomorrow. Right. But we're not interested in your words, bosses. Interested in your works. You don't invest in, you don't invest your brain. Your butt cell still got a brain, don't you? You don't invest in your brain, it means you don't want to invest. If you want to stay stupid, you want to stay ignorant. You got to invest. So when you show up, we'll know who you are by, like it says, every action is opposite reaction. Every action, so it means if you didn't put no action to the brain, so we had a reaction. You didn't put no energy there, you didn't get no energy out. It's up to you. So you can't fool anybody, bro. It's just you're only fooling yourself. Okay? I get the same amount of energy. So when you're going to show up, you're going to tell by your showing up, by your action, you're going to tell us how you invest your energy. You ain't got to say a word. In fact, we're not interested in what you say anyway. We'll see how you invest it. And if you invest it to move to the next level, or you invest it to hold on to this level. It's up to you. I got to go, brothers and sisters. It was a lot of stuff today. Maybe tomorrow I had some special things I want to talk about. But I'm going to be able to do it today. Assalamu alaikum.
We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Well, you heard that. Donald Trump is a believer in eugenics. He believes that white people are the superior race. And inner city is code for black people. And he believes black people cannot now work on the farms. I guess they're not good enough for that. So Hispanic people can do it because they have the backs for it. This is what this man is saying out loud in interviews. He is a racist. It's been proven time and time again. The man had Mein Kampf on his bedside table that he would read at night. Enough to let you know where he stands on that. Just more outrageous, racist things from Donald Trump. They want to arrest those who can do the farm work, well, until their backs give out. And then he'll probably ship them to El Salvador or some other country. Just more vile statements from the president and let you know where he stands.
When they were arresting people for praying outside of abortion clinics. I mean, I do think the UK, and I say this as, you know, someone who is half English, I think it's like reached, or it is quickly reaching a point where democratic reforms are going to be pretty tough because of the demographic change. And that, of course, the point of importing all these people is to overwhelm the people who live there who disapprove of the program. So you don't have to care what they think because you just bring in new people and their will becomes like all that matters. And so I don't think you're going to fix these things through elections at some point, probably pretty soon. And I just worry a place like the UK, Canada is another, a bunch of different countries in the West are at the point where they're literally revolutionary. They are poised for revolution. And as someone who really doesn't support revolution and hates violence and hates civil war above all, I'm worried about that. I mean, I don't see how this is fixed. Starmer, who's, you know, he's just an instrument of larger forces, but he's a poisonous character, obviously, who's really hurt your country. He's in there for, 4 more years? And so you wonder, people are going to start to get really radical in a scary way. I think this is going to happen. And the people in charge don't seem to care.
Well, you're already seeing it. You are seeing the anger beginning to manifest itself, and I completely understand the anger. I don't, like you, I abhor any form of violence, but I do understand the anger when you have, Keir Starmer campaigned, I'm going to smash the gangs that allow these little boats to come over the channel, delivering tens of thousands of people illegally into the country, and they then get put into these so-called asylum hotels where they're given a pretty good lifestyle, certainly a far better lifestyle than many people really struggling at the moment in the UK. And of course, far from smashing the gangs, it turned out yesterday that he's smashing new records for the number of people coming in illegally on the boats. Of course. It's out of control. And the British public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly?
Public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly? You'd really have to force a lot of people to go back to their countries of origin, millions of people, and you need to do it really soon. And are they actually willing to do that? I don't know, but these are existential questions that we have been browbeat into ignoring for decades. But the question is is Ireland Ireland? If it's majority non-Irish, oh, shut up, they're Irish. No, they're actually not Irish. Same with the UK, same with England, Scotland, Wales. It's all changing so fast. Nothing like this has ever happened in all of history, except when, say, the Mongols swept across the steppe and raped everybody. That was true demographic change on this scale. But even that wasn't as profound as what we're seeing in every white country around the world. I would say the West, but Australia and New Zealand also. So, what is that? Now, my brain is not big enough to understand what that is. is. I have a lot of theories about it, but I don't know if they're true. All I know is what the numbers are, and that's real, and no one feels that he can say it. Everyone's like, oh, well, if that were happening in China or India or Malaysia or Senegal, it doesn't matter. You'd be like, what the hell is that? Like, the population's totally different. Look at graduation. Pick, I don't know, King's College Law School, and look at the graduation picture for the last 30 years. Who's in it? Just like, let your eyes tell you the truth for once. Like, this is a total change in population. Is it better? Is it worse? Can't have that conversation. Who's pushing this? Does the population want it? The population clearly doesn't want it. There's no polling that's meaningful on the subject. I mean, there's no referendum on it. You don't get to decide. You've got no voice in it, other than you get to go to jail if you complain loudly enough about it. What is this? I think it's the biggest and darkest thing that has happened in the last 1,000 years, for sure. And I think it's leading somewhere really, really bad. It's not happening by accident, that's obvious, because it's only happening in white countries.
I mean, I think that...
Oh, shut up, white supremacist. Well, in fact, I'm not a white supremacist.
Well,
I'm just noticing what the hell's going on.
I think most people I've spoken to about this in the UK, most people have always viewed the UK to be a very tolerant, multicultural, cosmopolitan place to live. That's why so many people want to come here. And people have no problem with that. And it's been very successful for a long period of time.
But it's multicultural? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law... What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law every bit as valid as English common?
No, people don't want Sharia law here. No.
A lot of people do. Wait, hold on. I don't know what you mean. Multiculturalism itself is the lie designed to subvert a society. No, a society has a culture. You can argue about what it is or ought to be. It's not necessarily the same as race. It's connected to race, but it's not the same. People from different races can buy into your culture. That was kind of the beauty of the West. But a multicultural society is not sustainable. There's never been
your
such a
society
thing.
Is
one
about
culture will dominate.
Hang on, Tucker. Surely the United States of America, given the very way it was created, is the epitome of a multicultural society. And my point I was going to make to you was...
It's absolutely not. No. It's a multiracial society.
Yeah.
Though it was not actually a multiracial society up until pretty recent. It was just like 90% white for most of its existence, but whatever. But you did have different peoples, you had different religions, that was all totally fine, but there was one culture, as American culture. There's no such thing as a multicultural society. It's not sustainable. One culture will overwhelm the other. Again, it's not the same as race. It's not identical to race. It's connected, but it's not the same. But multiculturalism is by definition insane. No, it's never happened. It never will happen. One culture will predominate. It will impose its values on everybody else. I mean, the gay thing, which was not a thing 40 years ago, gay was a slur, all of a sudden becomes multiculture there. There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society, because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
Your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 26, 27 amendments, right? So your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's
determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So those values can evolve.
There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society, because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 27 amendments, right? So your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. Natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's multicultural, we can all live and have radically different values, that's just not true. It's never been true. It never will be true. So you're having one culture, one worldview predominate over another and dominate and suppress all dissent. That's just what it is, dude. Let's be honest.
I would point to the United States of America and the United Kingdom as two shining examples, albeit not completely without their flaws, but shining examples of places that are deemed by the rest of the world. I certainly feel that about my country.
Well, I certainly think that inherent in Christianity is the notion of tolerance, and that draws from a core Christian concept, which is free will. You cannot force someone to convert. There's never been conversion by the sword in Christianity. People decide to believe in it. And so that is central to the religion, therefore it's been central to the society. Western civilization is Christian civilization. And so we call that tolerance. It's a respect for your inherent God-given right to make a choice about what you believe. Okay, so of course, that's always been a feature. My only point is, a society has a commonly agreed upon set of beliefs, rules, and laws that are the definition of the society itself. That's what a society is. So you can't have competing. You can't have, gay world and Sharia world living co-equally in a society. That does not happen. It will never happen. You have to pick one. Are we the Sharia society? Are we the party time gay rights society? Which one? And you can't face that reality. So you're just sort of snoozing along until the inevitable point where you're going to wake up and be like, my values have no bearing on what our society is anymore, because we've been invaded by other people with a totally different worldview, and they're now in charge. And that day is coming very soon for your country, and maybe it'll improve it. I don't think the UK could be a lot worse than it already is. It's this kind of disgusting, sad, self-hating, suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English person, but that day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architect. That's a choice that we're all going to face. Suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English. That day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architects of mass migration. Sorry.
I would question your characterization as my country as a sad, disgusting, what was the rest of it, suicidal nation. I feel none of those things. I feel very happy to be in the United Kingdom, and I feel that there are lots of very happy.
Our system, the Western system, which is very distinct from the Eastern system, very distinct, and it's distinct on this one precise point, we believe and have always believed since this country was founded, since your country became, not a pure monarchy, but even when it was a pure monarchy, the belief in the West, because of Christianity, was the worst thing you can do is punish the innocent. That's the worst thing you can do. That's worse than not punishing the guilty. And we often said that to each other. We no longer say that because there is a pretty concerted effort to blur the meaning of these terms. But I'm not going to be deterred from defining words precisely. Terror is murdering people, killing people, punishing people who committed no crime. Period.
So when the Israeli government says it has repeatedly that even though over 20,000 completely innocent children are believed to have died in their response to what Hamas did on October the 7th at the hands of the IDF, there are many on the pro-Palestinian side who say that Israel is behaving like terrorists too in the way that they have gone about conducting this war. Would you go as far as to say that?
One of the things that I really object to now is this relentless focus on Israel, which, by the way, is a foreign country that I have nothing to do with.
We've done this before. Now, maybe today things are different, and we will end up living in a nation that is sharply divided and may ultimately produce something else. But I'm an American. I love my country. I want to see it stay together. I'm interested in social cohesion, which means that I think our laws, customs, and culture have to be dominant. We can accept some diversity on the edges, but not fundamental division. I think we're in a state of fundamental division. So when I bring up Sharia law, I've sat in many discussions with many people that said, well, I don't care what people look like, but I do care about Sharia law, and I don't want that practiced anywhere near my family or in my country. And that's something you should be aware of. So the notion that someone can come here and say, well, that's part of my religion and we're going to abide by Sharia law, they're going to find serious resistance and opposition in the country.
And as I clarified,
It's because it matters. It's this thing we call societal cohesion. Nations do not exist on their own. They have a core population. Our core population from the very beginning was always at least 80% European and Christian and about 15 to 20% African. But when you start bringing in huge numbers, millions, who are fundamentally different from the core population, you are going to get violence, anger, and conflict. How many times have you heard people say, if you bring people in from the developing world, what do you get? The developing world. And now we've got that. You can't bring in hundreds of thousands of people from Somalia, plant them, of all places, in Minnesota, and then be shocked that, no, they're not Americans. They're not really interested in being Americans. They're foreigners living on American soil. Nobody wants to say that publicly. If you do, oh, well, you're a racist. Well, you know, the world is full of racists. The real war that's going to decide our fate is not going to be fought anywhere overseas. It's going to be fought right here inside the United States. Are we going to survive as a republic, as an English-speaking republic that rests on the foundations of Western civilization? Or are we going to become something else?
One point that is
Constitution was completed in 1789. I think we had 5 million people living in the 13 British colonies. We were 90% white, that is excluding the Africans that were in the country who had been brought here as slaves. But we were 90% white. We were 90% Protestant. And this may be hard for you to believe, but the people that wrote that were trying to protect all of the Protestant sects from a state church on the model of the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church. That's one of the reasons it was almost 100 years or more after that before people began to finally accept Catholicism as a religion, because it was viewed as political power. My point to you is the Constitution is outdated. The way we are governed is outdated. It has to be re-examined. Nobody in 1789 imagined that anybody would come to the United States except another lunatic, religious fanatical Protestant who hated the Church of England. That's what people feared. That's what they thought of. The Constitution that we have does many good things, but I would argue that the Bill of Rights is ultimately more important. The Bill of Rights is vital and essential, and that needs to be defended. But the Constitution and the way we govern and the things that we're doing, it's out of date. It doesn't fit our needs. And that's back to my comment on something given has no value. You have to earn it. And we haven't made anybody earn their place in this country. I'm talking about people like me that have been here forever. My first ancestor stepped off the boat in 1681. So we've got to get back to some notion of national service, because national service promotes national integration. It addresses some of these problems that you're discussing. Now, I know that you may not want to conform and may not want to be as I am, but I'm an American and nobody questions that. Nobody ever will. If you don't want to stand out and be questioned, then I suggest that you change your appearance, because I don't think it's life or death for you to wear what you wear.
I think this conversation.
It's not fine, because it's leading to violence that could have otherwise been avoided. You see, every great nation, every large nation can always accept some number of people into its ranks that are different from them. It's always been the case. But if you suddenly import millions, which is what's happened here and happened in Europe, then you threaten the core gene pool. What I'm trying to tell you is there's a problem. And we can all pretend that there isn't, and you can insist there isn't, but that's the view. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to address it truthfully and openly. Stop pretending it's not a problem. It's a problem.
I mean, what's also a problem is white supremacy, and that's.
No, because you're saying you're different, you're going to remain different, and you don't think that if that's not compatible with being an American, then the hell with it. That's what you're going to do.
Well, then what do you make then of, white American people who convert, let's say, to Islam and choose to cover? Are they not American anymore?
Listen, if they want to do that, that's obviously their business. I don't know how many are out there that do that. I think again, it's ill-advised. I think you have to hold the society together. There has to be an agreement on certain things, customs, culture, way of life. And unfortunately, if you're going to practice rigidly a brand of Islam that demands certain things, and this is why I asked right off the bat, do you support Sharia law?
I'm a Muslim. What being a Muslim means is I follow the guidelines of my religion, which is a peaceful.
Does your religion dictate to you Sharia law?
My religion dictates to me to be a good human being, to be good to my neighbors, to
that the most powerful force in today's Republican Party is represented by what Charlie Kirk said. It is this drive to make America a white Christian nation. I got to tell you, this is what they say privately. This is now what they say publicly. This is what Charlie Kirk said publicly.
And Joe, again, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because you know these people very, very well. Yeah. You said it yourself. You were one of the strongest voices. You were one of the folks who understood the incendiary language when you were in Congress, when you had your radio show, and how people loved when you did it. And then when you chose to apologize for that and turn away from it, oh my God, they literally have just tried to destroy you because of that.
Yeah, again, you know the deal, Roland, right? I came out publicly against Trump 7 years. For 7 years, I put up with death threats on a regular basis. Nobody is welcome in that party unless you bow down to what this force is, this MAGA force. And again, look, there have been some people on the left who've celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder. Shame on them, be better people. But this is much worse, Roland, what my former friends are doing on the right, because they are turning this into a holy war. When you say we declare war on the left because of what some 22-year-old young guy did in Utah, and then you declare war on the whole left, that's a lot worse than celebrating Charlie Cook's murder, because that's dishonest, but that's also inciting hate and violence. And Roland, look, Trump's an idiot. So yeah, Trump says the left, the problem in the country is the left. J.D. Vance is not an idiot. What did J.D. Vance say today, right? He was subbing for Charlie Kirk on his radio show, and he spent the entire show going after the left, going after them, they, them. Man, Democrats need to wake up, Roland. This is a really serious deal by my former colleagues. The stuff that I hear privately from them right now, Roland, for the last 5 days, I mean, they want to go to war. This is a holy war.
Oh, it absolutely is, and what really jumps out at me on this very thing here, Joe, and I've been saying this. I played the speech 2 weeks ago that mainstream media just ignored of Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt, who gave a speech at NatCon, Peter Thiel's group, where he literally gave a white nationalist speech, where he said our ancestors fought for this country to be ours and no one else. He was talking about white people. He was basically saying if you are Black, Latino, Asian American, or even Native American, America is not for you. And folks just ignored it. And so people need to understand, again, what they're saying, why they're saying it. And yes, there are many evangelicals, any very conservative white Christians who are pushing this as well. And you nailed it. They want a holy war. They want a race war. They want this to be a white country. It is clear as day.
And Roland, really important point. Charlie Kirk at only 31, the impact he had because he was one of the most successful pushers of this white Christian nationalistic idea. And so I think that's why all of his defenders are out there so strenuously denying he said anything divisive, because they know if you really go through Charlie Kirk's public record, everything he said about people of color and Black women and Muslims and gays and transgenders, if people took the time to go through all of that, and that was put out for average people to see, they'd be blown away by it. That's why his defenders are like supercharged right now. They don't want that record to be seen.
Today, you mentioned, and I mentioned as well, Vice President J.D. Vance sitting in to do his show. And listen to this man just blatantly lie, Joe. Play it.
I read a story in The Nation magazine about my dear friend, Charlie Kirk. Now, The Nation isn't a fringe blog. It's a well-funded, well-respected magazine whose publishing history goes back to the American Civil War. George Soros's Open Society Foundation funds this magazine, as does the Ford Foundation and many other wealthy titans of the American progressive movement. The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words. He made an argument against affirmative action as a policy. He criticized a specific Supreme Court justice as an individual. He never said anything about Black women as a group. He made an argument for judging people of all races and backgrounds by their own individual merits.
Bullshit.
Okay, Joe, this is actually what he said.
No, Roland, that's utter bullshit.
In fact, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color.
All right, Joe. He literally said it. Not only that, Vance lied. Soros does not fund the nation. So he sat there and flat out lied.
And Roland, remind me, what's J.D. Vance's job? He's the vice president, and yet he had time today to do a radio show for a former right-wing podcaster. I mean, look what they're not even, Roland, they're not even subtle about it, what this White House is doing. They believe, man, the path to victory is fear, hate, and division. And that's what they're putting out there. That was Charlie Kirk literally going after 4 accomplished black women by saying they didn't have the brain power to get where they got. This is what he believed. And this is what MAGA believes. And that, again, Roland, broken record, that's why Charlie Kirk was so damn successful, why he had such a big audience.
Yeah, and not only that, you take Nick Fuentes, who's to the right of Charlie Kirk. The night of or the day after Kirk was shot and killed, Fuentes had 200,000 people watching him live. And so what you have this fervor. And so when I listen to Trump and Vance and all these people talk about, how the left, they're indoctrinating. No, and you know this very well, the indoctrination. We've had people who formerly with Turning Point USA put out videos talking about how it was really this cult-like figure, this messianic figure, as they sort of set Kirk up as, and how they want them to follow that. And so that's what's going on here. These people are not trying to have open dialogue. And not only that, Joe, you take Trump, okay? Trump was very clear in saying he was not going to call Governor Tim Walz after those 4 folks were shot in Minnesota. 2 were killed, including former Speaker of the House and her husband. Now today he's saying, he never even heard of Melissa Hortman, and if the governor had asked him, he would have, of course, lowered the flags to have staff. I'm sorry, he's also lying. He knew about her. He knew about the shooting, but he was so arrogant that he said, 2 Democrats, a Democrat Speaker of the House shot and killed. Yeah, I don't care, but lower the flags to have staff with Charlie Kirk. Flies body on Air Force 2. Do a memorial service at the Kennedy Center. Do another one at the Arizona Cardinal Stadium. Give him the Medal of Freedom. And I'm telling you, they're going to give him a state funeral. That's what you're seeing right now. And then you got Peter Hegseth going after members of the military who said anything negative in the aftermath of his death. You've got Kirk supporters creating a database of people of every social media post, and then even Vance saying in the podcast, you call their employer. So the so-called free speech people all of a sudden are saying, if you say anything negative about Charlie Kirk after what took place last week, we're going to come after you, come after your job. I thought they hated cancel culture, Joe.
Yeah. Roland, I remember back in my right-wing radio days, I would come on every day, and there was always some story about some leftist group on a college campus that couldn't handle speech that made them uncomfortable.
To say.
Roland, this is scary, and you and I are old enough, man, to remember huge figures in American history who were gunned down, struck down military leaders, civil rights leaders. We are treating this 31-year-old podcaster, MAGA influencer, like he's Jesus Christ. So I come from the right. Why are my old colleagues and friends on the right doing this, Roland? Because the right wants a religious war. Let's just call it. They want a civil war. They want a holy war. That's why they're putting him up to be some Jesus-like martyr.
Absolutely. I mean, Glenn Beck literally came out and said he was a civil rights leader. Oh, my God, stop it. Stop it. I've seen people say, I've seen a lot of these videos, I'm leaving my church because my pastor did not mention him. This was a Christian warrior. And let's just be clear. You said it, white Christian nationalists. It's slaveholder religion. We heard a lot of this stuff during slavery, during Jim Crow, things along those lines. And this whole idea about, it was about debate. It was about, exchange of ideas. I mean, come on, let's just stop it. And so we see what's going on here. We see the games that are being played. And then what gets me, Joe, is this whole deal of, oh my God, the left, how they indoctrinated him and the accused killer going to a university. The dude was at a university for one semester, Joe. You're trying to tell me that one semester at a mostly white institution in Mormon, Utah, which is not a liberal bastion, somehow just radicalized him? I mean, it really is showing folks the hand they're trying to play.
Yeah, and I think even on top of that, Roland, I think it was like some technical school. So it wasn't some crazy liberal arts school for a semester. Look, cut through all the BS. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has publicly said that America should be a white Christian country. This is what animates my former party. Roland, you know me, right? Tea Party Hellraiser. I don't come from the left. I left the Republican Party when the Republican Party became MAGA. And my fellow Democrats and folks on the left need to understand, now these people are on the right. Now this is MAGA. MAGA now are the snowflakes. MAGA, Roland, they now need their safe spaces. It's funny, but it's not funny. And you're right about J.D. Vance, man. He just flat out lied. I mean, the last 30-year history of political violence in this country, the vast majority of it is right-wing. It always has been. And they put out this lie that it's only on the left. It's not even, Roland, a both sides problem between the left and the right. There is political violence on the left, but the vast majority is on the right, and they know that, and they're lying because they're trying to inflame their base. And Roland, I hear from their base every day, and let me tell you something, they are inflamed. I mean, they are ready to march and grab their you-know-what. This is a scary time.
It is, and folks need to understand what is certainly at stake. Joe Walsh, I appreciate you joining us on the show.
History of the cross, known by their works. What's the history of the cross? 500-year history of the cross. Murder, rape, destruction, deception, enslavement, burning, terrorizing. To maintain a slavery system, you must terrorize the people 24/7. They terrorize people from Africa and America for 400 years. Constant terror, 24/7. Rape, murder. In the name of Jesus. This was Christians, not Buddhists, not Hindus. Christians. Christians, in the name of Jesus, when they said Jesus cursed black people, they call them Ham, cursed them to be slaves and persecuted forever. In the name of Jesus, raped our women incessantly, pissed in our mouths, made us eat shit. And they took and tried to clean up, well, not clean it up, but make it look more fashionable, I guess, by calling it chitlins. That's after slavery, of course, after so-called slavery. Because what was endured was not slavery. Look up slavery. Look up slavery. It does include murder, rape, terror. This is a Holocaust. And then now they try to downplay it. Oh, that was 400 years ago. No, it wasn't 40 years ago. I don't care if it was a million years ago. It was 40 years ago. It lasts for 400 years. As they're doing today. They took everything away from the slaves. Everything. Their name, their culture, their families, their religion, their minds, everything. Fed their children to alligators as alligator bait. And then they talk about what's going on in Gaza when they did 1,000 times worse. What's going over in Gaza now is simply just a miniature version of what they did. What they did was far worse than what's going on in Gaza. Gaza's bad. It's genocide. What they did was far worse and much longer. That's the legacy of Christianity. Murder, rape, disease. They wiped out the native population with genocide and disease. Smallpox blankets, knowing they was full with disease. Herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea from sleep with animals. So-called common cold was not common. It didn't exist here on this side of the world until they brought it here. Murder, rape. When they was raping our women, they had a cross hanging from their neck. And again, they taught blacks that this was God's will. God's will. Enslavement of our people. And they continue on even today. That's the legacy of Christianity, the cross. So where's your rap sheet? Every time they arrest one of our people, your rap sheet. What's your rap sheet? How are you going to judge people for murder when you're guilty of murder beyond imagination for hundreds of years? Hundreds of years. Theft. You stole this land and murdered its people. And you crushed the native people here When the braves would go out hunting, you would come into the camps like cowards and kill the women and smash the children's brains out on the hooves of your horses. This is the legacy of Christianity. That's the legacy of it. The question is, if instead of Columbus coming here, Dracula came here, Beelzebub, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Satan, and they all came instead of Columbus, what could they have done that Columbus and those that followed him did? Satan is the God of this world. That's the God they're serving. They have known him by their works. What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? Where's the works of Christianity? Evil, deception, mischief, bloodshedding. It goes on today. And what's going on in Gaza, just reflection and microcosm of what was done here in America for hundreds of years. Raped out women incessantly. They would even rape while they was out in the fields picking cotton. They would jump off their horse and tell them to bend over and rape them. And tell them to keep picking cotton while they was doing it. This is the kind of stuff that they would do. Make one slave defecate and slave and slave in the mouth of another slave, and then bound it up so he couldn't spit it out for 7 days. That's a legacy of slavery. You did it all in the name of Jesus. That's a legacy of slavery. Legacy of slavery. 40 years plus. Legacy of Christianity. Legacy of the cross. That's the legacy. That's the true legacy. So whose works are those? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? The legacy of the cross. Where's your rap sheet, America? Gog? Where's your rap sheet, Magog? Britain? Where's your mateship? Where's your rap sheet? Antichrist, false Israel? Where's your rap sheet? Then they colonized Africa. They're stealing for ripping off everyone. It's the legacy of Christianity. They've been ruling for over 500 years. And now, the threat of nuclear war to finish off everything. That's a legacy of Christianity in the name of your Jesus.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. The heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the old rhythm, crying, watching to return, with their hands stretched out towards that ship, and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel? Acting such. And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their arms 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you were free. Remember that.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. The heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Put it back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the whole rhythm, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel? Acting such. And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you were free. Remember that.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here, Veteran of Covenant. Okay, brothers, since it's been a year now, and we're finally home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. found a home after 40 years. Right? And so we've been here a year now. And there was an agreement made, a former slave master. He said, we had a choice. Stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance, Arabia. So we left. And half the original people decided they wanted to give up their inheritance and trade it for a place in America in reconciliation with their former slave master. That's their choice. They chose, said, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go over where it's sand and all that stuff. We want to stay here in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And we can make peace with our slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we get reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given, they got 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, they got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. They was listening to Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, they stay there, 6 states, right? Had their own land. And they can make reconciliation with the former slave master. They're not devils. They're not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, they were just, did some things wrong, but now they're going to make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody stayed $1 million. Okay? Say, thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. Man, you got 6 states. That's what you promised us. We got 6 states. They're thanking you. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? And this was a year ago. They got the 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. And they're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. Hey, we came, man. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. You got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago when we left. So we're in Arabia. They're still back there in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. Right? And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And it's just those 6 states. Right? So, and now they had a big and massive, they came asking to turn the power. Well, why can't they do it? Oh, Farrakhan didn't train anybody. He was telling you about 6 states, he never prepared you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So now he's begging, man, master, can you come and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told him 6 states and promised him that he would have prepared them for it, right? Their schools and education, whatever they needed for that. But I guess they didn't, because they said over there now he's begging this former master to come and turn the power back on. And then what? I mean, this is all that's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now. A year later, it's like, They're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? Then say, oops, crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no. They say, they looked at the farmers when they done it. Farmers said, oh. So then, master, what's happening here? How come you know? Right? Our crop. They found that the land they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, nothing's growing. Crop failure. And now they master, what's happening here? Right? And then, I mean, all these things, every hour that's coming in, right? And then they look, you know, and they had, you know, a year ago they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? And now, they look there now and all the food's gone. It's gone. And she said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So he said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't produce your own food? I mean, you want your own country. You got your own states. That's your country. Then you run it. What are you calling us for? Right? And so they'll be praying. And then, oops, no fuel. There's master, no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money, right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. And you got your reparations, so we don't owe you anything anymore. We don't owe you anything anymore, so what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of your inheritance, what you call the Abrahamic covenant, Arabia. You know, your brothers and sisters, they left, they took that was offered to them, they took it. And you said, no, I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh, man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on, Master? Wait a minute, hold on. That's you. What you calling us for? That's yours. You got to handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff was coming every hour, man. Instead of like a year, they was celebrating. And now they're crying and begging the master, okay, we got all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's yours. Where you come about your problems? You have to work those out. Right? No transportation, I mean, no planes, nowhere. We learned about fly the planes and drive the trucks and the boats and stuff and to go and get this stuff. Well, what you done this for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you calling for? Yeah, Master, we see this. You said you wanted 6 states, you got it. You want $1 million per person. That was your reparations. So now if you didn't pay people to take care of this, how's that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel. The gas station's empty. I can't drive, eh? And no gas. Man, wow. All this stuff happened like for a year. They thought that everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So I guess what happened? Everything was there when they got it, and it ran out. They had to, for them to replace the fuel, to get the farms going. So they was left with that stuff. The factory was full. I mean, warehouses full. Then you had to keep. They thought that was just going. I guess they thought it was just going to be there, just by itself. They prepare for it. See? And they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They ain't, business. They didn't train anybody. So Farrakhan, he told you he's going to get this for you, but he didn't prepare you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So now he asked the master, said, hey, don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you wanted reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, call on your brothers over there. They left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? See? You don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? I mean, that's what, because, if you're going to set reparation, you should be preparing for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be preparing for it. If he said, God said that's where he's going to get you, so if God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, told him to build an ark, so he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states and the reparations, but apparently you didn't. And so now, it does say, look, hold it. We want total separation. Look, we don't want you to call us no more. We don't want you to call us no more. Because you're wearing us. You want your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, $1,000,000, all this stuff, right? And so now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you have to create your own money. You have to do all these things, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. That's all economics. So they go and tell it. They tell all the people all the white folks, right? Because all the black folks, now all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. You had to be one way or the other. There couldn't be no integration, that kind of stuff. That's the deal. He just said one or the other. So all the black folks are there, and ain't no integration, that kind of stuff, right? Black folks are there, one or the other, so they're there. So he said, okay, right? So they just say, we're going to take our money because we don't know what y'all doing over there. You have your own money, you have your own wealth. So what they do is they tell all the white folks, say, protect your money, right? Transfer your money into gold. Just all your dollars into gold. Right? Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million apiece. So everybody got $1 million apiece, right? And so they transfer it to gold. And then what happens is that what they do is they start just printing money. White folks just start printing money. You understand what that means? That's inflation. Right? Because if you got $1 million of gold, a million ounces of gold, say a million ounces of gold, understand this, and you got 1 million certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got 1 million ounces, each certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got 1 million ounces of gold and you got 1 million certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. If you want to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold. Right? But if you take and print, you say you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one. But say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now, because you got to connect that to the gold. Well, you print 4 times, then each one's worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they work, because those certificates has to equal what the gold is. You understand? So the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, there's less gold. You understand? So $1 is worth 1 ounce of gold, which that's right. Then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's what printing money without increasing the wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is they keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. But see, that doesn't affect their people. They told to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. It still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You had $1 million, now your $1 million worth of $5. That's what all this worth. $1 hardly worth anything. Hey, that's our money. You got to have your own money. You got to control your own wealth. You can't keep coming to us what you're doing. And you think they wouldn't do that? Yeah, you've been a Gaza lately? You see what happened to the trees they made with the so-called natives? Kept telling me he had a forked tongue because they kept making trees with them, then they broke the trees. And took their land and genocide and everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you bury it up, throw it away. It's worth nothing. The people still got gold, and even if they take it, hold on to money, hope to increase again, they just use another different certificate, use another form of money. So it's still worth nothing. That $1 million you had, you was so happy with it now, it's probably worth maybe $1. You can't buy anything $1. Plus the economy's collapsed because everything is failing, and you don't know how to repair it. You don't know how to build communications. You don't know how to do any of this stuff. You're not an engineer. Build a house. You don't know how to do anything because Farrakhan didn't. Right? He didn't prepare you. He told you he'll give you 6 days. He told you, listen to me, right? So now you're broke, and your economy is gone. You have no food, no electricity, no power, anything. Right? It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You still had your inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you're going to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. That's you chose. You stay there. They closed the border, so you can't get back in here. You can't get back in America, into what you call your land now? Swaziland or something? Farrakhan. Maybe call it travel land. Farrakhan. They met the Farrakhan. Right? So they closed the borders. You can't. Because now you're hungry and everything else. Your money's worthless. Oh, God, come back, Master. I'll come back work for you. I'll work for Popeyes. I'll do anything you want. No, we don't. Remember, now blacks either they over in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, any places, just in that land that you 6 days. And now you're starving. You ain't got your money's worthless. Nothing works, and they close the border. Right? And then you see Master, he on the phone. You talking to the guy that you kept treating, help you. Hey, we finally got rid of niggas. Finally got rid of them. Finally got rid of them. See, he's sitting on the phone. Yeah, it worked. We sold them no reparations. We sold them that used car. They turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. See, they could have had a BMW. They could have had a Lamborghini. They sold it for BMW that looked good. Damn thing didn't work. And now they're starving. Living in tents. Praying. And so what? Then what next? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? You told us to take reparations, so we did. But they gave us everything we asked for. What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do? Pray, 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 pray. That's his answer. Pray, pray, pray. reparations, like Elijah Muhammad said, he had a big picture. We leaving, and blacks staying on the shore, the ones stay behind, and they was whooping their ass. Right? Because they thought you think they want to give you some land and take care of you? You think they want to do that? And go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million? You know how much that is? If it's 17 million, that was 17 million times 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that there. And they're gonna do all that for you. They want to get rid of you. So now they have succeeded. Because they closed the border, and what you gonna do? You gonna fight to come out? They closed the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. One group's out of here, another group that's here. They're gone, and our hands are clean. We gave them what they wanted. Well, anything. Okay. God honors contracts. Remember, he honored the contract with Jacob. Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob, which was Esau's inheritance, and God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Pharaoh ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. And this homeland you was promised, you rejected it. So now you got what you asked for. So if they gave you reparations today or tomorrow, how would that scenario not play out like that? Well, they say, okay, you got it. Tell me how the scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they're going to say, okay, we're going to take care of them. I mean, why should they go out their way to take care of you when you was right here? You was working at Popeyes and then they get up on Section 8, all that stuff right here, because they're trying to get rid of that stuff right now. Trump's trying to get rid of all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening over in America. Wow. Boys, come here. Disaster over there. And, I just got a call. Oh, wait, hold on. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know what they call it Conland or something. I forgot what something they call it right there. That 6th day. They begged us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them and bring them? Oh no. Now he wouldn't ask Master Farad Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. And I agree with that. Yeah, the Master said he said, let's call him, and he passed the word to Master Farad Muhammad. Master Muhammad said, send him back. Listen, no, we can't come and get you. You made your choice, live with it. Or die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't believe that. They actually, right, sent a message over. I don't know how they did. I don't have any communication with them. Somehow they got the information over to them. Said, would we please come and get them? Nope. Said, no, tell them no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land. You got your reparations. You got your money. You got Farrakhan as your leader. Yeah, tell him. Talk to him. Let him straighten out for you. He didn't want to sell you the idea. He was a salesman. So you on that idea of reparations. We told you. Right? Suleiman, right? He was the messenger to you, telling you, look, man, let's go home. You said no. You chose not to. Okay, brothers and sisters, that's a sad story. But I guess that's it. Is that it? Oh, so they're not getting more reports on Okay, he says that was Master Prophet Muhammad's final decision, and I think they closed communications off from there. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, we got those guys that came in. All that came in today, man. I came in fast. After a whole year, total collapse. And they begging it, somebody help them. We can't do it. Maybe Master help you. We won't do it. Assalamu alaikum. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in that they said, well, if you want to come and get us, we'll at least send some food. They begged, said, please send some food. And that's what I'm saying. We got to send them a damn thing, nothing, zero. He said, please just send some food. No, I just got that in. He says, if you can't come and get us, please send some food. He says, no. He refused. That's the report. I just got the information from the ambassador. He said, they sent that, and he's read to me. He says, no. He said, please, just please send us some food. He said, no way. You made your choice, case closed. Okay. Just got that in, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.